For someone who actually wanted to apply for this or next year, I'd definitely recommend contacting the department and the tutors who are likely to be involved with you, because they're very willing to talk, they're very accessible, and it will give you a really good idea of actually what it's like on a day-to-day basis.
To look really clearly into the different departments, sub-departments between social anthropology, material and visual culture, and make sure you're picking what you want to study exactly.
I would advise people who are applying to the program, if they have any questions that they can't find answered on the website or elsewhere, to just get in touch with somebody, because I found that the faculty here and the administrative staff to be very accessible, very open, very kind in answering any questions you might have.
For an overseas student, the most important thing is to research the professors at the university and applying for the degree well in advance of the deadline, so that you have time back home to really plan your departure and your arrival, because they really are two different things altogether.
I would give yourself plenty of time to get your application done and for them to get back to you, so that in terms of how you're planning your year, it's not like you're waiting till the last minute to decide to suddenly move to London and get your visas and find an apartment and all that stuff. So definitely plan ahead.
My advice for people applying to UCL's Anthropology department is, firstly, to be sure of your eligibility of fee. Be sure of your fee status when you're applying and before you apply.
For international students, another important thing is to work out the logistics of where you're going to stay, your budgets, very specific things which we sort of take for granted. We assume that they're going to fall into place. But in the end, it really is up to you, because a lot of students can get tangled up in these things when there's so much more to enjoy in London.
I think my biggest advice would be sure of if you want to do a part-time or a full-time study. So be aware that part-time study can also be a good option if you want to take advantage of the London life and have time to do more activities, and also take full advantage of your program itself.
My advice for a potential student would be, don't expect to have your hand held. It really is up to you where you go. All the tutors do is just give you a space where you can enter into a very interesting conversation. But what you bring to the table is very much down to what you find yourself.
I think one thing that I wish I'd known before I applied was how self-directed the course is. Again, it's turned into a positive aspect of my learning experience, and I've been able to take that and sort of follow my own path.
I think everyone who's looking to do a master's probably ought to think what they want to achieve with it, because you've got a chance to really focus your interests and pull in a lot of resources whilst you're doing it. And if you don't know what the end result, you don't need a definitive idea, but if you don't know what the end result is going to be, you can't really take full advantage of what's on offer.
I think a master's student, before coming to UCL, should think about his further step after UCL. So how UCL can actually function as a stepping stone to the future, instead of thinking of a master's program as an end to itself.